Welcome to the Collecting Keys Real Estate Investing Podcast with your host, Mike DeHaan and Dan Austin. From wins, losses, horror stories, and tactics for optimizing your business, Mike and Dan take a real, uncensored deep dive into the ins and outs of running a full-time real estate investment and wholesaling business.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 19 of the Collecting Keys Real Estate Investing Podcast. We've experienced one of those periods of time right now where it just starts raining heavily with opportunity. I don't know what it is about this business, but it's funny. Last week when we recorded, we were kind of shocked. We didn't have a whole lot to talk about because it was so slow. And then this week, it's just freaking bananas. I don't know. The sun came out, sellers are ready to go. Our guys have been working until 9:30 at night, kind of all week.
We all have been, dude.
We all have. I know. Yeah, I can say our guys. We all have. Literally last night, I was texting a seller at 9:15 at night because she's kind of been a non-responder, and she reached out all of a sudden. And when that happens, it's what you got to do. And I wasn't sure if the guys were still working or what, so I was just like, "Well, here I am. I guess I'm the one that's gonna reach up for her," which is fine. But, it's just been crazy week. So I think as of right now, we have 3 new contracts for the week.
Yeah. I talked to James earlier. He said he got one. He made sure to call me and point that out because I'd been giving such a hard time.
well, the funny thing is because you were busting his balls on Monday, and we've been kind of in a lull. So I even messaged you on the side, and I was like, "Hey, let's be gentle with them." And then he freaking pops off 2 on Monday. And then he gets a third one today. And then, I am
in your face.
The ones that we have in the hopper, I imagine we have probably 3 to 5 more out of just the fresh stuff that came in, not even existing the old ones. I'm kind of the old ones that we've been working. Right. So it's so weird, man. Honestly though, I think it's so tied to the weather. I'm just looking outside right now, the sun starts coming out, and for some reason that, sellers are like flowers. I guess they just start to blossom.
It is something about it, man. It's 50 degrees out here, which is kind of unique for this area this time of year.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. All of a sudden, sun poked out and people are all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. But also too, I think it just shows the importance of doing consistent marketing, even in the downturns, and the slower periods, because that's the other thing as well, is we've been getting a lot of calls off of marketing that we sent several months ago or last month that they didn't call on until this week for some reason.
Well, I think it was this week alone, we've dug out a couple basically dead leads, they're so old, they all of a sudden just popped off, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Looking at our system right now, one of the ones we got was been in our system since last fall, and our guys are just doing their routine follow-up, checked in with him. We made him an offer. He asked for $299,000. It was last August. We were we can't do that. It's a little bit that we weren't too far off. I think we offered $270. He's like, I don't want to do that. So then we reached out again, and he was like, well, if I still want $299, do you guys want to do that? And we're like, well, the market's up 14% since August, so we might as well give it a shot.
Inventory's down, prices are up. Let's do it.
Exactly. You want the same price? Your price expectation hasn't moved with the market, so I guess that makes sense for us now.
Right. Yep.
But it's key is the follow up and the consistency at the end of the day. You spend a lot of money doing this marketing and getting in front of people. You got to make sure you're executing on it, whether that's in the immediate or over the long term. Just because someone tells you no right now doesn't mean they're going to be no forever. I think at the end of the day, if they're willing to have a cordial conversation with you and, you build a good relationship with them, it's really important to make sure that you're following up with them down the line.
Yeah, it's just like any other business where you have sales. It's your book of clients, right? They're not always going to be buying or selling when you need them to, but in our business, when they come into our CRM, they've raised their hand at some point.
Exactly.
So there's no point in paying for that lead and then just disregarding it because it doesn't work for you in that moment. Having that systematized task and follow-up system, it just proves itself out every month for us. It seems like we're getting new people. We're like, that was last year that we talked to them, and now they're raising their hand again.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if some people reach in and they're super aggressive towards you, like they're really not wanting to talk to you, then maybe don't necessarily beat down that door.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you never know. I mean, we've had people that'll be kind of crappy to talk to, but then you sort of look into the details about why they received your letter, and you're like, well, they're probably going through some stuff. Maybe you just need to approach it with a little bit of a different angle and more of like, recognize them as a person and whatever they're probably dealing with, and then who knows what'll come from that. But it's always a fine line too. So, but yeah, yep. I know. Yeah, it's funny. This recent batch of mail, though, I don't know why, man, it has been pissing some people off. Like we've had some.
I think are they the orange? Are they the orange ones?
Yeah, exactly.
The orange letters, the orange envelope.
Yeah. So I don't know why, but we've gotten so many people that have been calling in that are so angry. We had this guy, I'll put him on blast because he's never going to listen to this, was one of the big dogs in Spokane, Harley Douglas, who like basically owns most of Spokane. Like we sent him a ton of letters because he owns a bunch of properties, and they're all apparently distressed if he received a bunch of our letters. And he called in and chewed out our basically call center. And then our acquisition manager, James, called him back, and he was screaming into the phone at James. But I gotta say, I'm wicked disappointed because I called him on my cell phone and I introduced myself, and I was like, he didn't answer. I left my voicemail, and I was like, I'm the person you're looking for. Like, I have a decent sized company. Like, this is how many rentals we own. Like, give me a call. I would love to chat with you. And I also said, I understand you're upset about the 200 mailers that we sent you, but if you don't want those, just send me your addresses and I'll remove them. Otherwise, I will be sending you more mail.
I didn't even think about that because he does. He probably owns across the city, thousands and thousands of units, and then however many that he owns as like a single property, he probably just gets a box of our letters.
Well, I mean, because we did, because on this batch, because they were targeted to specific properties, I sent one for every single property, regardless if people had more. So he's kind of the black swan, I guess, where he owns so many that he literally got a box of our mailers that all hit him at the same time. But I'm disappointed. He still hasn't called me back. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I don't know.
What a jerk.
People are always okay to yell at the employees. Speak to the business owner. Come talk to me about it. I don't know.
Right. Oh man.
So people like that are just so funny. And also too, if he's such a big dog, why is he so upset about a bunch of paper?
I know.
It's so weird.
Why is he even getting it? Yeah. Why is he even getting it? He has an entire staff. I know where their office is at. It's a nice building.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's very true. Well, I mean, I guess he might be getting it because we skip trace the addresses of all the LLCs and send it directly to the homeowners. Like that's how we kind of get in front of a lot of these LLCs. It's a good little tidbit for you guys if you ever want to get around the PO boxes and the, the kind of like office mailbox and things like that LLCs have. It is quite easy to look up the owners of LLCs and then find where they live and then mail them directly. And we've actually bought quite a few properties that way, because then instead of it being filtered by their office assistant or whatever, it actually gets directly to them, so that they look at it. But anyway, so yeah, it's been a fun week. I mean, yes, just looking at this week so far, it looks like this week we had maybe like 50 something leads come in. So it's been all over the place.
That's a real zinger, man. Yeah, it's been busy.
Yeah.
We have been definitely jamming on every direction, everybody, even on the property management side, right? We just got so much going on with that and stabilizing properties and flips going on. It's been wild. It's been cool. Been fun. Yeah. I do feel kind of bad now. Like, so we had, I don't know if you call it like an incident. So one of the properties we have, the basement flooded. It's like the 5th time it's happened, but we finally found the issue, which is good. But when our property manager sent us photos of it, I noticed a kennel in the background, and I was like, well, hey, just touch base. Tell her like she's not allowed to have animals in her house, and that you're gonna have to talk to your boss to see what we can do. And I was thinking like, maybe we'll charge her like $250 or something. She texts him back the very next morning, cat's gone. I don't want to get kicked out. I was like, oh man, how do you get rid of a cat in like 12 hours?
I know.
You just throw it outside?
Oh, God, I don't even want to think
did
about
she
what
pick
happened.
It up?
I don't know. And also like, it's kind of tough because it's kind of a tenant that we haven't been able to build a relationship with because she just won't respond to anything. And
She's so
I mean,
weird.
like, she's super weird. Yeah. And she came with the property, she's on support. And so like, we got it to kind of market rent and they basically just matched that. So there's no need to, move her on. I
Yeah.
mean, we're getting what we
No, and
want
like
for the
she
property.
always pays. She like pays
Hmm.
and she imposes her own late fee. Like if she doesn't get
Yeah.
it to us sometimes, she just sends us 75 more bucks. I'm like,
Yeah.
because we kind of make it like a habit. Like we try not to charge late fees. Like we try to work with our tenants like as if they're our customers, right? Like we get it. We've got one tenant that's like a single mom, 2 kids, and she works hard. And sometimes like she's sick and doesn't get a paycheck. We're like, if it's a
Hmm.
week, that's fine. And we've never had issues. You got to totally gauge your tenants on that. But like, yeah, she charges her own late fees. I love it. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so it's like hard to get rid of her because you're just like, you don't want to put
Well,
her out on the streets because she's not going to find a new place. I don't think she's capable of finding a new home, honestly.
yeah. I mean, and we don't need to get rid of her, but at the same time, when it comes to the cat, if she had just been like, hey, I adopted this cat, like whatever, exactly, we would have just been like, that's fine. You just need to pay some pet rent or something.
Yeah.
But she just, the immediate response, cat's gone. I'm like, oh,
12
God.
hours later. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's on my conscience now.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah. I mean, no,
Right.
we need to be on Judd's conscience because he didn't, he
That was his
didn't
fault. Yeah,
offer
it's
to
totally his
adopt the
fault.
cat. Absolutely. So I
Yeah,
know, Judd, you're
man.
going to listen to this because you listen to it every week. That cat's
Yeah.
spirit or
Yeah,
whatever is
and
on your hands.
that property has bad pet juju because remember, like you
I know.
rehomed the dog. Remember that
I
because you're a
did.
good person. I'm like Judd, where Judd's just like, yeah, kill the cat, whatever, get out of it. Like you found a owner for that dog when we bought it from the
I
seller. That was
did.
nice of
I
you.
did. Yeah, I went and found
Yeah.
a new family. It was up on a lake or something somewhere, that super active black lab that was really sweet, that the owner was like, I don't know what to do with this dog. And I was like, well, then you probably shouldn't have it. Let's find it a new home.
Yeah.
It's just living in the
Exactly.
basement.
Oh
So,
man.
man, the things you do as an investor, it's super crazy.
I don't know.
But yeah, I know you said you got some good stories from our flip though. What's going on with, I thought that one was wrapping up, and then I show up there today and you're telling me that we're behind and our contract has a bunch of weird stories now.
No, no, it's kind of unrelated, but I don't even know if it's worth sharing on the podcast. It's just so we're not behind, but we did add some more work to his plate. We're going to have him paint the exterior, which I was hoping we'd get away with because wintertime we would just do like a holdback or something on the sale for them the new buyers to paint the exterior. But it's beautiful and sunny out now, and you pointed out as we were walking through it that it looked like shit, and I was like, yeah, it does. But anyhow,
especially compared to the one next door to it, that's like looks pretty decent.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was like, dude, what's up? Why do you got dents in your truck? And he's like, do you want the real story? Or, do you just want me to tell you some story? I was like, tell me the real story. He apparently was having a relationship with some gal who was pretending to be someone she wasn't. And she was pretending that she was single as well. And he was got caught up with homegirl's husband who was chasing him down the road. And hold on a second. All right, sorry about that. So, anyways, he was getting chased down a dirt road with by homegirl's husband and friend who proceeded to catch him and rip him out of the truck and zip tie him and beat the crap out of him. I was like, what? Like, how does that even happen? Like, is that a thing? Like in modern day society?
I thought he was married.
No, he's single. He's been married. He's divorced now. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No, good contractor, good dude. Like, but you just hear these random stories. Like the one dude that didn't answer the phone, it's because he was in jail, right? Like,
yeah.
what
I
is
mean,
going? Like, how does that happen?
that's kind of the thing with contractors, though. Like I don't know, like there's a specific breed, especially the kind of people that work for investors who aren't going to pay them top dollar. I mean,
Right.
all the ones that are really put together, they're like out building houses or they're doing like $100,000 kitchen remodels. They're not junking out hoarder houses for $25 an hour.
I know. I was just blown away by that story, though. I just didn't think
Yeah.
that's what normal people did.
That is it. That's what
But he said this lady, he's like, yeah, she had her own condo. Like I would just go stay at her place, but that apparently was not, her husband didn't know that existed. And it became a whirlwind of a problem.
That's funny. He was the lady's Mr. Like what's the female version
He's
of
the
like
boy
a
toy.
mistress? Yeah, right.
He was the boy toy, man.
Yeah, right. Why we call them fuck boys
man.
now? I think that's what the
Yeah,
Gen Z say.
Yeah. Is that what he is? I
think
don't
so,
know if
yeah.
that's what he is or not, but yeah. Anyhow, the project didn't skip a beat though, but it's going good. We just got the final touches going on the inside today, and then of course, yeah, like we just talked about, we'll paint the exterior, which we haven't really had to do a lot on a lot of our properties. We have on a handful, but you can usually get away with it on a lot of our projects. The exteriors are usually not so bad, but this one's pretty rough. Yeah, and then I got to stop by the flip we're JVing with those new investors. Yeah, they definitely got their hands full. I mean, it's their first time, right? 100-year-old house, lots of little issues, but they're making progress. It's cleaned. I don't know if you stopped by there at all, but
I did.
They're making some good progress.
Yeah, I was able to get in. I got there right as they got back from their lunch break. I mean, it looks good though. Like it's funny. It's one of those houses that walking through it initially, I mean, this is honestly a lot of houses when it's full of junk and it's kind of just like worn out. Like you kind of go in and you're like, oh my God, this looks like a disaster. But once it's all cleaned out, they've demoed out the walls. They've kind of opened up the kitchen and stuff a little bit. You can see a lot of potential really quick. Like I think
it's
really
a super
nice
cute house. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
a great little house, little first time home buyer type house.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that style for that neighborhood too, because it's kind of like an older neighborhood where there's a lot of like weird little like box houses, like what do they call them, the track housing that Harvey Douglas's grandfather built like a long time ago. He built all those neighborhoods. And this one actually has like a little bit of character to it. It's like a little 2-story house, and it has like a little bit more of a yard than a lot of the other ones. So it's more unique than like the ones that just look like these little bread boxes that you see placed all over the place in Spokane.
Yeah. So. No, it's gonna be a good product when they're done with it.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just sometimes, and they're making the right steps, right? And because they're new, this is their first time, so they came to us, and we kind of we're working with them, and so when you get to see the shock and awe from a new investor when they're doing their first rehab, they're just like, they don't know where to start, right? But having somebody to come in and say, nah, you're good. This is the hard part. Like once you get to this point, it's going to come together. Don't worry. And I think it kind of calms everybody's nerves, because it is. I mean, you and I have been there, right? Our first time rehabbing, you're just stressed about everything. And then you do a couple dozen of them and you're like, okay, this is easy. It's the same thing over and over and again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was funny when I rolled up and they were all there, like, with their gloves on, just like throwing stuff out to the dumpster. I was like, man, I don't miss that at all. No, thank you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
all done with that. But yeah, lots of good stuff going on. Cool. So, well, I am really excited though, Dan. We're getting ready for some big things coming up here.
We are. Yeah.
We are.
I'm excited too.
Some very big things. So starting this next week, we have been working on a group sort of coaching program. I want to say like mastermind. It's more like a group coaching for basically giving people the outline to build a business or get started marketing for real estate exactly how we are doing so. And it will be completely the blueprint for how we built our business, all laid out for you exactly, so you can do it across like an 8-week program, and it'll actually get you through the first 2 months of running this business. And along the way, you'll have the opportunity to work with us and work with other people that are also doing the program. So you can sort of learn from each other. You can learn from us. Like we'll be able to hold your hand along the entire way. And one of the things that I'm super excited about is there's a lot of programs that are kind of like this out there. And we've even done like a handful of them. I kind of find that what they do is they get people into the weeds about like how to build the foundation of the business and all sort of stuff, the things that people honestly waste time on. And what we're doing is we're setting this up so that you will be talking to leads and having opportunities within the first 2 weeks of coming on. And I think that will be a pretty unique experience. And what it'll do is it'll get you, give you a proof of concept right away that it is possible to find deals at a discount, and it is possible to be talking to motivated sellers. And it's probably a lot easier than you think, but you need to sort of have a structure to it. Because I think one of the things that gets discounted by a lot of newer investors is how, I mean, there's a lot of like different methods to go about it. You know, if you go on YouTube, you go on TikTok, on Instagram, there's so many people out there that are saying, oh, cold call, send mail, do online ads. It's super easy, all things you have to do. And they're not wrong. But at the same time, if you have a structure to it, and you do it correctly, like we do, you'll be able to go and actually have legit opportunities without just wasting a bunch of money and not really having like a strategy and a structure for moving things forward and getting things closed. So we're going to be calling it the Collector's Keys Instant Investor Program, because you will literally be able to start instantly talking to sellers as quick as 2 weeks, pretty much as long as it takes for the mail to start hitting, which there is always a little bit of processing time, but it works pretty quick. And it will be an 8-week program that we are going to be doing a pre-launch here before the program officially starts at the beginning of March. So if you want to find information about that, go to collectingkeyspodcast.com/instant investor or instantinvestorprogram.com. Those will both take you to the same place. I tried to get instantinvestor.com, but of course it was like, it's a park domain that someone bought in like 2001. So screw those people.
Of course.
Yeah. if you ever hear this, I'll buy your domain from you.
Right. Man. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited too. Cause like the things that we went through this, we've been part of multiple different masterminds and groups. And like from the beginning, like talking through, like you said, like the foundations of a business, getting in the weeds of that. Like a lot of these, masterminds are great, but they like, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, that just comes with any business you're going to start. It doesn't matter what you're going to do. But the real keys to success are what you're doing to actually get leads. Because at the end of the day, you could have the coolest sounding brand name, you could have the coolest this or the coolest that, and it feels like a business. You could even go rent office space if you so choose to and feel like you have a business, with that does not generate revenue. So we're talking about revenue generating activities right off the bat. Yeah. And what I like about it is the blueprint to our business with 2 years of mistakes pulled out of it. So you don't have to deal with those that we learned from and overcame. And so it's more to the point. Here's what we've proven to be successful. And we've done a lot of iterations. I would say we've iterated more so than most people that we kind of work with, or investors. Cause it's test, retest, try, retry. And we've kind of got it dialed into where we're very confident in our process.
Yep, exactly. And I mean, we've proven our process in our own market every single month. We've proven it in other markets. It's a repeatable process. It's extremely simple that we can teach, and it does cost a little bit of money to run. So it's not, we're not like going to be some of these people out there that said this is how you can get started investing with no money. Honestly, you can't if you want to compete in today's market.
That's bullshit. You can start with no money. You just don't have to do any deals. Like a lot of people.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people teaching you how to be a real estate investor that have done 3 deals in their whole 3 years of their career.
I know, exactly. Yeah. So these are this is coming from two guys that have done what we do almost 50 deals last year. In the last 18 months since we did our first one, we're like 70 something, almost 80 maybe, and we already got 4 this week going. So yeah, that's the difference. You're completely right. There are a lot of dudes out there that will have found like 1 deal ever. In fact, I get people that hit me up on Instagram asking me if I need coaching, and they'll say like, they'll say that I contracted over $1 million in real estate last year. I'm like, average home price in the United States is $330,000. You did 3?
Yeah,
nice job,
3.
bro. Like,
or
yeah,
1.
You're yeah, right. One in Newport Beach.
You're doing your Airbnb-ing your parents' lake house.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's a repeatable process. Work in every market. I'm pretty excited. It'll be a fun sort of endeavor. I think the biggest thing as well is that those revenue producing activities, like that is going to be the key to sort of showing that this works. And then also too, the reason I like focusing on that is because there are also a lot of people that we've met that honestly don't want to be full-time investors, but they still want to have opportunities to invest in real estate. So you honestly, if that's you, which is a lot of people, you just want to be, Dan Austin who buys houses. You don't need to waste your time building this fancy website and building these complex like Facebook funnels and all this other BS and stuff that people do. You can have the same opportunities as the full-on businesses, without having to waste your time doing that and just starting to pursue leads and talk to sellers. And,
Right.
especially if you have like a high W-2 job, like we know guys in GoBundus that are like this. They have a W-2 job where they're working in tech. They make $300,000 a year. They kind of enjoy that, but they also want to buy houses in, Mississippi that cash flow, and they want to buy them at a discount. You can market that and you can facilitate getting transactions that way. And you can have those opportunities to buy without having to rely on realtors, without having to buy from wholesalers or people like us, and pay our fees that we tack onto things. You can do those yourself, or alternatively, if you want to approach this and you don't necessarily want to buy properties, but you want to be the wholesalers collecting a $30,000 wholesale fee, this is how you go about finding those opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody that wants to be an investor or invest some money in real estate, like, I don't know, Mike, I mean, other than like the wholesalers that we network with, like everybody else is like, oh man, if I could just get better deals, if I could just find deals, then I could do it. It's like, well, this is how you find deals. Because today, like you don't, it's much harder to just shop the MLS and get any quantity of deal that's going to, help you grow your portfolio or whatever your goals end up being. This is kind of the way it's going. Going off market and setting up a simple system and just getting those leads coming in. You're going to have so many more at bats to buy your own properties.
Exactly. And it's so true with real estate when people say you make your money when you buy, but until you've been in that position to buy like at a good rate, you don't really believe that,
True.
And and a lot of people, they're like, I don't understand how I'm making money when I'm buying, when I'm paying $30,000 over ask for this flip on the MLS. Like, I hope it goes up. It's like, well, when you're buying a property that you already know is 50% of what it's worth, you can absolutely be making that money at the second that you purchase it.
Absolutely.
So, and it's funny too, because like, I think that a lot of the online presence for off-market people would get a bad rap because there's people out there that are pretty cocky. They're showing money. They're doing all these sort of things. And people that are doing that, they're either A, not doing deals, or B, if they are, you know why they're a little bit cocky? Because they kind of have it figured out and it's not that complicated of an endeavor. Like, if it's structured and it's strategic, anyone can do it, and you can do it to any scale that you're willing to throw some money at, because you can literally, like for us, how we have it built out, we calculate how much it's going to cost to get a lead. We calculate how much it's going to cost to get a deal. We know what the kind of transactional time frame is and what our average profit margin on these deals. And all of a sudden, after you have a little bit of structure and a little bit of a process to it, that for every X amount of money that goes out, you should be getting the same amount back. And you'd be surprised at what the potential is with that. So,
yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. It's like you put it out there and it comes back to you. Exactly. And we've done that plenty of times over and over again. And then if you do want to scale, that's when you get into kind of like level 2.0 and you're building those systems and building that foundation for your business to scale and do it full time.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And if you're curious kind of what the basis of that is, if you go to collectingkeyspodcast.com and you get our 5-step guide for generating off market leads, that's the very most like basic ground level of it that you can check out. And essentially what the program is it's more in the weeds about how to pull those lists, what that looks like, how to stack your leads, how to actually build your marketing programs and going through that. And I think one of the things that will be cool is you will be doing that along with us while we are following the exact same process. So we'll be able to help facilitate any of the conversations along the way. So anyway, go to collectingkeyspodcast.com/instant investor or go to instantinvestorprogram.com and drop an email there and you can book a call with us and we'll see if you'll be a good fit for it. So go check it out. And I think that it'll be a good time. So cool. Well, it's a pretty good time there, Dan. Anything else that you want to throw in? I know you got to head to a basketball game here pretty soon.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Sweet.
Thank you. Let's do it.
Right on, guys. Cool. Well, thanks so much, guys. Thanks for listening. I am Mike DeHaan at Mike_invest on Instagram. You can follow me there, or Dan Austin at InvestorMan Dan on Instagram. Go ahead and shoot us a DM. We both love chatting with people. Go check out collectingkeyspodcast.com. You can download our free guide. We'll also have a link there to the Instant Investor program, or you could go to collectingkeyspodcast.com/instant investor. And looking forward to chatting with you guys soon about that. So thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon.
All right. See y'all next week.
Thanks for listening. Please leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And check us out at collectingkeyspodcast.com for tips and guides on starting your own real estate investment and wholesaling business.